following ridiculousness has not been approved for mature audiences. Matter of fact, it's not even for mature audiences. So if you can't handle it, hit the road. It's not for children.
What do we have here? He's the man, the funniest in the land. He'll eat your pizza crust, it's SevensNuts. You will never get down when the chubby man's around. He's watching your wife's butt, it's SevensNuts. Invite him home to dinner, on your couch he wants to stay. Playing drums on your sister's bus, it's SevensNuts. He's fucking nuts.
Bring it on now, come on.
Hey, what are you doing with that sandwich, man? Go, Sandy, go! Do you think I could sit in with your band? Go, Sandy, go! Are those giant melons for me? Go, Sandy, go! If you're looking for big laughs, let me show you the way. Did someone say cold cut? It's SevensNuts, nuts, nuts, nuts. SevensNuts. Give him away on the phone. SevensNuts. He's got your funny bone. SevensNuts. Can't trust him alone. Nuts. Welcome to SevensNuts, everybody. I am Seven. I am back.
And he's nuts.
And I'm nuts. We had a crazy week. We took off last week because I was ready to die. I was kind of sick. A lot going on in the world. And it didn't make me feel any better for living in it. And there was so much I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about this week's show. It's going to be fun. We have a brand new rebuilt studio. You can see you're looking at some new angles. While sick, I decided to tear everything apart. Great idea. And I had some great help. Scotty V came over and made the power flow. Scotty O'Connell came over and made the monitors hang. And I have a big studio audience today, and I'm very excited. Big hand for me. Talk to you about my guest too. I have a fantastic guest. This guy was so much fun to catch before he took vacation. Why is everyone laughing when no one knows where he went? Oh, does everyone know?
I know.
He was with my sister.
Very nice system.
Yeah. Sister number 39275. So my guest today is Danny Edell. Big hand for Danny Edell. He'll be coming up shortly. We're going to talk about this week's events. We're going to talk about some things that we got going on. We're going to be talking about the Exile In Rosedale contest, which is coming to its end. I'm very excited about that, where one lucky winner who was smart enough to register for his box set that comes along with the Exile In Rosedale book is going to get to have Seven and friends play at their party. And that's going to be crazy, and I hope your fridge is full because I'm fucking starved. So, keeping that in mind, today, by the way, just for the record, I'm going to eat one of the guest studio audience people. I don't know who, and I don't know how. Look at this. Woo-hoo. Come on, give me this. Oh, great. Well, it's going to be an interesting show with one view. Hello. Testing 1, 2. Scotty. I was on the Howard Stern Miserable Men show the other night with Shuli, and that was a lot of fun. I got to call in and talk to Shuli and Mike Morse and Little Mikey, who does he does a lot of songs. Matter of fact, he's got a fascination for Robin Quiver's Big Beautiful Titties, and he writes every week.
There were times I made some choices, some I can't recall. I know I made my share of mistakes, I hope I learned from them all. Sometimes I prayed for answers, and other times I knew. Times I kept my fingers crossed while I waited for a clue.
president and this, idea of doing something different with the real American majority. Thank you. That's the real president. That's the man. I'm just like that. I'm the wagging the tail.
Wag the dog.
Something like that. I'm tail the wag. But something serious went down that I wanted to talk about. 6 Christians and 4 other people from all over America went to Afghanistan to help people with eye surgery and medical related needs. We're talking 6 surgeons, specialists. These are 6 people that could have, after probably working super hard at their daily jobs, doing their things at hospitals and stuff like that, instead of taking a vacation, they said, hey, let's not go on vacation, let's go to Afghanistan and help these people who are getting murdered and destroyed by the Taliban and our war against the Taliban. And they were promised safety by Afghan warlords. Now, I don't know whether they were technically missionaries, they were definitely Christians. They were promised safety by the Afghan warlords, and something happened. And they're calling it a robbery, which is such bullshit, my heart is fucking breaking. Because what happens is the 10 people were murdered. And I believe it's an 11th person, a Muslim, was spared his life because he sat and recited from the Quran as they were about to take his life. So being a Muslim, they spared his life. And then they stole all the medical supplies, and I'm sure they're cutting up goat with those scalpels, and I'm sure they're doing real good surgery without these qualified doctors. But it's the point that these people went selflessly to Afghanistan to do something real deep and real important. They lost their lives for it. And to say that I am disturbed by this is an understatement of epic proportions. Because every time I think about it, every time I think about these people actually going there and giving their lives just to help people see and to help people live and to get past this warship, and then to be taken by these fucking animals. It's time for Americans to stand up, because for some reason in 2010 we forgot how to protest, and we've forgotten how to raise our voices when something's wrong. Because when something happens to a group of people, the Iranians, they protest. The Muslims, they have no problem protesting. They protest all the time. They want to build a mosque at the World Trade Center, which they've so nicely and cleanly removed. Right? Well, they flattened it. We had to remove it for them. Now they want to put a mosque there. Great fucking idea. And I think it's just utterly ridiculous. And I don't think for one second everyone doesn't realize that there are Americans here in America, there are people in America that know their neighbors, and now we have a lot of Muslims amongst us here in America. It's a new thing, all these Muslims. And that's what America's supposed to be, this great big melting pot. There's only one problem. You see, what the Muslims are boiling in their melting pot should be this American ideal, and it's not. And what we've got Muslims here sending their money to Afghanistan, because let me tell you something. These cave-dwelling pieces of garbage have no money. They have nothing. They have zero, unless they're getting the money from somewhere. So if there's 20 cents of their millions of dollars that they're getting for these weapons, for these guns, for these grenades, what are they strapping to their bodies? Camel burgers? Where is this coming from? It's coming from somewhere. And if there are Muslims in America who are sending money to Afghanistan to support them killing Americans, especially killing people who were helping their people, they were helping the Afghanis. The Taliban are probably going in there as villagers and getting their eyes fixed and then say, let's kill them, take their shit. It can't happen. And it's time for everybody to raise their voice and say, we've had enough. because I've had enough. Because I've been talking about it everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I say, hey, if your next door neighbor senselessly killed somebody or for any reason other than defending one's own self or one's own child and killed somebody, what would you do? You'd say, hey, that's wrong, you call the cops. But not these Muslims. They're not doing that. And it's time for people in America to be American. You want to come to America, be fucking American and do the right thing. And the right thing is going to be, if you know somebody who's funneling money to the Taliban, then it is your duty as an American to report that to the authorities. And anything else is disgusting. These people have to be stopped. And it has to start here at home. And that money, if there's any money coming from America, it's got to be stopped. And I don't know if I'm making perfect sense, but I think everybody's getting the idea here. And that idea is that we should take care of our own. And I'm certainly doing my part, and I hope everyone will also. I've already reached out to some local politicians. I'm trying to get a meeting with John Cooper, who is a politician from Suffolk County. I'm reaching out to say, hey, this has got to stop. How can we form something at a grassroots level? Real Americans have a voice. We'll be seeing more of that, of the real American majority soon. And I hope to be able to do my part in whatever way I can. You're live on SevensNuts. Who's this?
Yeah, you picked the sound. It's nutty.
Oh, good. The sound's better.
You look like Joker from the Batman movies, only he gained 50 pounds.
Oh, Scott. I just want to say something. Oh, Scott. What rhymes with click? Oh, click. What would the cat say? I love this. Hold on a second. Let's get rid of that. Okay.
On the side in the parking lot, I saw you give it